Hey everyone, thank you for joining me for another episode of Undeniably Nikki. I appreciate you all so much, so thank you for once again coming back to my channel. I am joining you in great spirits. It is a beautiful / windy day here today in Las Vegas, but I'm in great spirits because I am coming off of the heels of my birthday. I did not have an episode for you guys last week because it was my birthday week and I had a lot going on that week. I was doing a lot of things. I was doing a lot of celebrating, very safe celebrating because we are still in a pandemic, and also, you know, just super busy with work and everything, and I was just not able to find that time to record. Like I said, you guys, I'm still trying to work the schedule out perfectly so that I'm making sure that I'm recording every week, but sometimes it's just easier said than done. And I did have a lot going on because it was my birthday week, and so I gave myself grace to not beat up on myself because I was at first feeling like really like annoyed with myself that I did not carve out that time to record an episode. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give myself this grace. I'm still trying to figure out the scheduling and everything in regards to recording my episodes and things like that because my job is super demanding, very demanding, and it takes up a lot of my time. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give myself the grace and I'm just gonna enjoy my birthday weekend. I have a few friends who wanted to take me out to dinner and take me out to lunch and things like that, and I just wanted to be able to spoil myself and let them spoil me for my birthday. So yeah, like I said, I went did some dinner for my birthday. I did dinner on Saturday with my sister and one of my best friends, and her boyfriend, and they're both vaccinated, which I had to talk about that too. And it was just low key and it was super chill and it was just a great time. And me and my sister got all pretty because, you know, we haven't been able to like really get dressed up as much because we're not going anywhere. We're not doing anything. You know, the world has, of course, been on lockdown because of the pandemic. So it was good to like get some clothes on and get all pretty, and even though I'm pretty all the time. But no, anyway, it was just like cool to like get dressed up and go out and stuff and go to this nice dinner and just celebrate being here on this earth for another year, taking another trip around the sun, which I'm so blessed to have, especially in wake up everything that we've dealt with in 2020, you know, people just passing left and right, and people still passing right now because of the pandemic. So I just felt super uber duper blessed to be able to just see another year, you know, and have that breath of life given to me to wake up on my birthday and know it's my birthday and know how blessed I am to see another year. What else has been going on with me? Oh, and then on Sunday I did like brunch. I did brunch with a couple of other friends. They're all vaccinated too. Did brunch with them, and my best friend was in that group too. It was a small group, you know, because here in Las Vegas, they're not letting more than like I think 5 or 6 people at the table, so it was like super small again. Everyone had been vaccinated. At the time, me and my sister are the only ones who haven't been vaccinated. And then we went and played bingo, and we did the bingo where you're like at one of the casinos. We went to Red Rock and we played bingo. And I'm so proud of like what I've been seeing with the casinos. They're being super strict, making sure everyone keeps their mask on all the time. When we were in bingo, we literally like could not have our mask off. And even though we were at our own table together, they still made us keep our mask on. So it was like the only time you could take it down was to drink, and then you had to put it immediately back up. And if you didn't put it back up, they're coming over and they're like, excuse me, can you put your mask on, please? So I will say I'm proud of Vegas and the way that Vegas is opening up, because I feel like it's happening very responsibly and safely, and also not as fast, and it's happening a little bit slower. It's not like Texas or Arkansas or I think Mississippi and Florida. It's not like everything's 100% capacity and you only have to wear a mask if you want to. There's still, you know, even though the vaccine is out there and is at play and more people are getting it, they're still taking this pandemic super serious and realizing not everyone's going to get the vaccine, right? So we have to still move as if this is such a big threat, because it really is. So I did that, did bingo, and then went to dinner again. So I have literally like just been freaking eating my birthday away. Oh, and then on Monday, my actual birthday, me and my sister went to lunch. So I've gained about 5 pounds for my birthday week, which I'm not excited about. But again, like I said, I'm giving myself grace, and I'm really giving myself grace too, because like recently I was chatting with one of my friends, my friend Kisha. She was like my best friend in high school, and she like just happened to be going through some old pictures, which by the way, I don't have like any pictures of myself in high school. I feel like I don't know where any of them are. I feel like I can't find any pictures, which is weird because I know my mom was super about the pictures. Like we always were taking pictures, I think, but I don't know why, but I feel like I can't find any pictures of myself or me with my friends or anything really in high school. So Kisha was going through some old pictures, and she sent me a picture of myself, and this wasn't in high school. This was like my sophomore year of college, sophomore or junior. I think she said we were 19 or 20 on that picture. And you guys, it's so amazing how you forget like how much weight you've lost, because you're focusing on where you are right now, and you're like, oh, I've gained this during the pandemic. I've gained, you know, because I've told you guys I've gained almost 20 pounds, like 1 pound shy of 20 pounds during the pandemic, 19 for the entire month. Not entire month, the entire year of 2020. And I was like on it, and in January of this year I like got on it, and I was like, you know what, I gotta stop using the pandemic as an excuse, and like still do my part to make sure that I'm trying to stay healthy and do what I need to do. So I was like, I got on it, and I like went on this strict like super low carb thing in January, right? And I lost 16 pounds. I lost 16 pounds from January to like through the first week of February. I lost a total of 16 pounds. So I was super proud of myself. I lost 16 pounds. I've kept it off. And so during my birthday weekend, like I said, because I mean, I'm not going out to clubs or anything or bars or anything like that, because that's just like, hello, it's still a pandemic. I'm not trying to do that. So like I said, everyone was wanting to take me to like lunch or dinner or whatever, which I just felt the love, and I feel so blessed and grateful that I have loving friends who want to do that. So I was giving myself permission to indulge. I was indulging like crazy, and I gained 5 pounds. So I gained 5 of the 16 pounds I lost back. So I've been like super kind of hard on myself this week. Like, oh, why did you do that? And then also it's been kind of hard to like kind of get back towards that, where I was, of trying to like make better choices. I don't completely like deprive myself, because I only did that in January to kind of give myself that jump start. But then in February, the whole month of February, I was slowly adding things back in, like certain carbs and stuff. But I was also being very selective in what I would choose. And I was like, you know, making sure I make good choices. Oh, I take it back. I lost 13 pounds in January, and then I lost an additional 3 in February. So, but I don't think I only lost 3, like I said, because I was slowly starting to add things back in or whatever. So anyway, so when I gained that 5 pounds, like during my birthday weekend, like from Friday through Monday, I was like, what the heck, you know? But like I said, I'm still just trying to give myself grace, because then Kisha sends me this picture, and I was just like, wow. Like, I couldn't believe, like, sometimes I forget how much weight I have lost. And I have always been up and down with my weight, always fluctuated my entire life. That's just how it is. That's how our makeup in our family is. Majority of the women in my family are super duper curvy, you know. A lot of them though, they're really curvy, but they have like flat stomachs. They just have hips and butt and boobs or whatever. I was not blessed to just have the hips, butt and boobs. I have the hips, I have the butt, I have the boobs, but I also got tummy too. So it was like interesting to like look back at this picture, and I was like, you know what? I was like, Kisha, I know this was God that had you send me this picture, because I was literally like beating up on myself about the 5 pounds that I gained, and I know it was God's way of just trying to tell me again to have grace with myself. And I've done this before. I can do it again. I know what I have to do. It's just doing it and sticking to it. And I've come so far. Like, if I look at that picture, I've come so far from that picture. So I appreciate my girl Kisha for sending me that. I'm letting God use her, because I know that was God that used her to send me that. I love you, Kish, and I just want to give you a shout out for that. But yeah, it's just something I just think that's just something us as women, I want to say humans in general, but especially women, we're so hard on ourselves. And we also, like, we forget to give ourselves that grace, and we forget to remember our victories and our triumphs and what we have overcome, and put that into the perspective of when we are hard on ourselves. So, you know, I want to always keep it a buck and keep it honest with you guys. And so, I just felt led to share that, because that is literally what I was feeling, you know, and that is what I was doing. But then I got a little aha moment, got a little check, you know, I like to call them little sweet checks from God, you know, got a little check, for me to just kind of put things in perspective, you know. So that's pretty much it with my birthday. What else is going on? Oh, I was telling you guys about how literally majority of my friends here have been vaccinated. So I have to tell you guys, I got the vaccine too. Yep, I got the vaccine too. So I was qualified to get the vaccine because I am a person of communications. So I was later down in the tier. I wasn't in the first 3 or 4 tiers. I'm like later down, like the 5th tier or whatever. And I was they finally opened it up for us, people who are like journalists, who have to deal with the public, who go to different things to like report the news and stuff like that. They gave us the availability to be able to get the vaccine. And for, I want to say it's been for probably the past 2 weeks now that we have been available to go, but I have not gone. I've been sitting on the fence about it because, you know, as a black person, and just a person in general, I was suspicious, you know, just about the fact that it came so fast, and I know it takes years for a vaccine to be made. As a black person, I'm suspicious about this vaccine because I don't even get the flu shot. I got the flu shot once in my life, or once or twice, and every time I've gotten it, I think I've gotten it twice. One when I was younger, like in my teens, and then once again when I was an adult, like within the past 4 years, and every time I've gotten it, I've gotten the flu right after. So I was just like, you know, this shot's just gonna make me sick. And so that's why I was kind of suspicious of it too, because I was like, I don't want to end up just getting sick again from COVID. I've already had COVID. It sucks. It's horrible. I don't want to get that again. So I was on the fence about it. And then also just, you know, what has happened with our community with the Tuskegee experiment and just other like unauthorized experiments on black people, that I was just like, I don't want to get this vaccine. So I was, you know, nervous about it and really not thinking I would get it. But then I saw this video. I just happened to see this video on Twitter, and W. Kamau Bell, who has this show called United Shades of America, which I love. It is a show, he's like a comedian. He's a black guy. He's a comedian, but he also like shines light on different injustices and inequities when it comes to black people and things like that, and black and brown people. He shines light on that. He uses humor a little bit to do it, but he has that on his show. It is literally like a like a docu-series type of show, but he, like I said, he uses humor to kind of shine light on things that need to be changed in this country, to shine light on the systemic racism in this country, the broken systems that we have in place that do not benefit black and brown people. And so I kind of I trust his word, you know. So he did this thing about the vaccine. He did this video, and he was just talking about, you know, he was like, you know, he said, if you're a black person, you probably have a ton of questions. You're probably like your old uncle who has a ton of questions about this vaccine and are hesitant to get it. So I'm gonna be the old uncle today. I'm gonna ask all the questions, and then we're gonna go from there or whatever. So, but the thing is, here's the key. He not only asked the questions to doctors and nurses, but he asked it to black doctors and black nurses. And so that, to me, like, I sat there and I watched it, and I watched like a lot of the questions and the concerns and things that were brought up. And So that was like one of the reasons why I ended up deciding to kind of go towards getting the vaccine. And at that point, I saw this I saw the W. Kamau Bell thing like maybe 2 weeks ago, and I still hadn't decided completely. I was still like kind of on the fence, still nervous, still having a little anxiety about it. But eventually I did make that decision and was like, you know what, I'm gonna just give it to God, and I'm gonna just trust that everything is okay and that God's got me. And so I got my first dose of the vaccine on Monday. No, not Monday. I'm sorry, Friday. I got it on Friday. And so my arm has been sore all weekend. So yeah, I got that on Friday, and it was crazy because when they stuck me, it didn't even I didn't even feel it. I didn't even feel when they put the shot in me. And I didn't look at it because I just don't like to look. I don't like to look at needles and stuff going in. Like, it bothers me to look at it. And that was another reason why I was afraid to get the vaccine, because I really do not like to deal with needles at all. So the only time I deal with a needle is if I have to, and that is like when I go to the doctor and they do blood, like they draw blood to like do labs and stuff on you. But for the most part, I am staying away from needles. So like, I used to have a crazy fear. Like, I used to cry every time I had to give blood. I'm better now. I don't cry anymore, but I still have like tense anxiety about it. So anyway, so I was like this, looking away like this as the guy was like giving me the shot. But he goes, okay, and you're done. And I was like, oh, like you're like, I didn't even feel it. I didn't even feel it go in. So then what they have you do is, I went all the way to North Las Vegas to get it, because I just felt like I would rather go all the way up to a high school in North Las Vegas than go down to like the Las Vegas Convention Center or Cashman Center, where the lines have been insane. So I was like, I'm going to take my chance on going to a high school in North Las Vegas, that it won't be too crazy or the lines won't be too long. And it was actually really good. I got right in, went through, gave them all my information that they needed. Then they sent me right to a person, and I sat down, and he was the nurse that gave me the shot. He was so calming. Like, he really calmed my nerves, because I still had so many nerves when I went in to get it. And I was like, and he could tell. And he was just like, well, it's okay. He's like, just relax your arm for me. And he just like gave me so much. And he told me kind of like a little funny story, and it made me laugh and everything. And then he was like, are you ready? And I was like, okay, I'm ready. And so then he gave me the shot. And like I said, I felt nothing. So he's like, okay, you're done. And I look over, he's got the Band-Aid on me and everything. And I was like, I didn't even feel anything. And he was like, yeah. And then so anyway, so he gives me a timer, and he's like, okay, you're going to just go over there. You're going to sit on the bleachers for 15 minutes. And then one of the National Guardsmen who are helping in our state, they're helping to assist in giving the vaccine. They're going to come over and schedule your next appointment for you. This is your first dose. You got the Pfizer dose. You'll have to come back in, I can't remember how many days, but he's like, they'll schedule the next one for you. So I go over there with a timer, because they want you to sit there for 15 minutes to make sure you don't have like any adverse effects or anything like that come at you. So I was sitting there and I was waiting, and then my buzzer kind of went off, and then the National Guard guy came over. He signed me up for my next appointment, and he's like, you're going to be back on April 2nd. And that was it. And so as I was sitting there, you know, he did tell me like the side effects of the first shot, like stiffness of arm or whatever. Your arm might hurt a little bit for a few days. He's like, but if you drink a lot of water, that should help with it. I love water. I drink about a gallon a day. So I was like, okay, that's going to help me. And he was like, and also just kind of like move it and work it out or whatever. And so that's what I did. So yeah, I got the first dose of the vaccine. The only thing that I have experienced with the first dose is that my arm has been a little tender. But it was tender and hurting for like, no, it was hurting and kind of stiff that I had to keep working it out for like, Friday and Saturday. And then by Sunday, it felt back to normal. And I've had a little tenderness while I slept, you know. But yeah, it feels fine. It just, like I said, it feels like, I don't know, it feels fine. It doesn't hurt anymore, you know, just a little tenderness while I sleep. But like they did say, you know, for a few days. So that technically is a few days on Sunday. So yeah, I did it. I overcame my fear. And I think I just wanted to overcome my fear of getting the vaccine and the questions that I have and go do the answers myself, because I think it's perfectly normal to have fear and concerns and questions, but I also think it's important for us as human beings who care about other human beings to also just kind of do our own due diligence and do our own like looking into things and find the answers that we need, so that if we can be a part of the solution, let's try, and I know everyone's going to move at their own pace and do what they want to do. And this is not in any way to be like, get the vaccine. Nope, I'm not doing that. I want everyone to make their own decision based on what they're comfortable with. I just wanted to share my journey because I too was a person who was very scared, was very skeptical of getting the vaccine. But I did my own due diligence to kind of just, get some of the questions that I had answered for myself, So, yeah. And then two, what kind of put my mind at ease with the whole Tuskegee thing and like, are they trying to like make us sick type thing, was the fact that, I'm just going to be real, y'all. Majority of the folks getting shot right now are white people. So I just feel like they're not going to give a vaccine to white people to make them sick. It's just going to be hell to tell the captain if they do. So that was another reason why I was kind of feeling like, okay, maybe it's okay. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So that was my journey in regards to getting the vaccine. What else has been going on with me? Oh, okay. So I just have to tell you about something cool that I did. So, it's Women's History Month. That is what March is. And then, International, Women's Day was on the 8th. Yes, it was March 8th. And it's so funny because like maybe about 2 weeks ago, I actually got approached about maybe auditioning to be a part of iHeart Radio's. They were putting together this special for International Women's Day where they were going to be interviewing celebrities about, being a woman and confidence and being in the industry, being in the music industry and things like that. And so they wanted just some regular everyday people like myself, regular and everyday but extraordinary people like myself, to like just kind of talk about what confidence means to them. And so, I said like a bunch of things, and then they chose like a little clip from all of us and kind of put together this collage or whatever. And I was actually one of the ones that they decided to choose. So it was pretty cool. It aired nationally on Facebook and YouTube because it was streamed online, and it was done virtually and everything, and we sent our clips in. But yeah, I shout out to my friend Vanessa. Her sister actually was the one that told her about it, and then she told me about it because she thought I would be good to do to submit a video or whatever. And so I did it. And shout out to Vanessa and shout out to Caitlin for actually just bringing it to my attention, because I hadn't even seen anything anywhere where they were asking people to submit these videos and do things. But I did it and I got chosen. So I am literally in a video of Gwen Stefani, Cardi B, Kelsey Ballerini, Demi Lovato, J-Lo, just so many celebrities. I can name so many, even Jenny Garth from 90210. So many celebrities and strong, wonderful women, even women who, are philanthropic, and women who are doing their work, boots on the ground, to make sure that women have equality and things like that. And I was one of the ones who was chosen to be in this video, and it was super cool. It was a short little clip. It was really short, but I'm also super grateful, for it, and super excited about it, because I always look at things as it's always one more step towards my dreams and my goals. And that's what I feel about this. And it was just an amazing opportunity, and you never know who me saying what I said, how that could have affected anyone or touched anyone. You just never know. And so whenever there's an opportunity for me to be able to do good or use my voice to do good and put out good into the world, I want to do whatever I can. I want to always take that opportunity. So yeah, it aired already. It's on my Instagram. So if you guys go to @OnlyNikkiBowers, you'll see it on my Instagram, and you can kind of look at. I only end up putting like maybe 3 or 4 minutes of the whole thing on there, just the section that I was kind of in. But the whole thing was like about 40 minutes or 35 minutes or 30 minutes. But yeah, it's on my Instagram. Again, like I said, you can go to @OnlyNikkiBowers to check it out. So yeah, that's all that's been going on with me. What else? Oh, I just want to tell you guys, because it's on my head right now and I always forget in the beginning, if you are liking what you are seeing and hearing on this episode of Undeniably Nikki or any of my episodes, please make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. All you have to do is just hit that subscribe button, then hit that bell, ding, because by hitting the bell, it's going to give you notifications about when I upload a new video. And like I said, you guys, I really do try my hardest to upload every week. And for the most part, I do, but every once in a while, I have a little hiccup where I have like a 2-week delay between my uploads. But like I said, I'm still working on that schedule, and I just enjoy you guys so much, and I appreciate you so much for just being on this journey with me. Also, oh, please don't forget to comment. Make sure you're commenting. I get a lot of texts and stuff on the side from everyone, or messages on Instagram or in my Facebook and everything. But you guys, the comments really do help with the algorithm of YouTube, and helps for my videos to get out there for more people to see. So if you can please comment on YouTube too, that would be great. You can still send me texts and stuff if you want, you know, and we can talk on the side, because I know people are private, I get it. But if there's like any way you can make sure you're commenting too, even if it's not something controversial that you want to comment about, just leave a comment. That helps me so much with the analytics and the algorithm of YouTube. I'm trying to get my videos out there so that more people can see. All right? Okay, thank you. All right, so now let's get into some hot topics. What do I have for you today? Okay, so the first thing I need to talk about today in regards to hot topics, obviously, is the interview that has rocked the nation, has rocked America, has rocked the UK, has rocked pretty much the world. And that is Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's interview with Oprah about why they left the monarchy. Now, I watched this interview and it is fascinating. It is really good. Oprah did her thing, as she always does. It's fascinating, but it's also very it's sad. It's very sad because in it we learned a lot. We learned, you know, that that Meghan was in a very dark place, super dark place, and it's one of the reasons that they decided to leave the monarchy. So in the interview, you know, we learned that Meghan Markle pretty much had no support at all from the royals in her new role as a duchess, because, you know, she was given the title of duchess when she married Prince Harry. She basically, this is a woman who has been very outspoken about women's rights, has been very outspoken just in general as a person about human rights, about black people's rights and things like that. And then she found herself in a situation where, as she said, where she had to be silent. She pretty much lost herself. And the funny thing is, like, one of the things Oprah said, not funny, but one of the interesting things Oprah said during an interview, she goes, you said, you know, you were this person who was outspoken and has always been. You were this actress, and now you're pretty much losing your identity of who you are. They took your passport, they took your IDs, you had nothing. You had to ask she had to ask permission to go eat lunch with friends. She had to, it was completely different. So she goes from being this extremely independent person who had been working since she was 13 years old, who has been, you know, very independent and very, you know, vocal, to having to be kind of this quiet, docile, you know, not really being able to speak your mind or defend yourself person, which was hard for her because she had never been that. And one of the things Oprah said, you know, because Meghan said she went from being this person to being silent. It was hard for her. And Oprah said, were you silent or were you silenced? And Meghan said the latter, which means she's saying that she was silenced. And just watching this interview, it was very just eye-opening on a lot of things for me, because I have always been a fan of Prince Harry, Prince William, and Diana. I've always been a fan of the royals and that little group, because I was a fan of Diana's. I loved Princess Diana. I liked Princess Diana when she was around as the princess. She was the people's princess. Diana was trying to do a lot of good and a lot of change. And, she passed away in that fatal car accident. I think it was in 1997 with the paparazzi, her and Dodi Al-Fayed, which was her boyfriend at the time. They passed away in this crash. And so, because I love Diana, I watched the Prince William and Prince Harry grow up. I was a teenager when Diana died. I think I was 15 or 16 years old when Diana died. I think I was 16. I'm 16 years old. And then, and so I followed her sons because I liked Diana. I've never been like a huge fan of the other parts of the royal. I don't really pay attention to everybody else, but I paid attention to those boys because they were Diana's sons. I liked Diana. So I didn't really know about a lot of the shady underhandedness that went down in the monarchy, other than the fact that, I know that there was speculation that they had something to do with Diana's death. I don't know. It wasn't ever proved or anything, but there were a lot of people who speculated that Charles was very jealous. And a lot of the royals were jealous of the popularity that Diana had when she left the royals. She was popular as a princess too, but also treated poorly like Meghan was. Treated very poorly by other royals and treated poorly by the British press. But then when her and Charles got a divorce and she left, her popularity like skyrocketed like nobody's business, because Diana was just out here living her own life, doing her own thing. And it skyrocketed like nobody's business. And she was able to do more and show her heart more and do more philanthropic things and stuff like that because she was no longer a part of that family. So, like I said, I knew that part, but I didn't know about like all the other stuff and shadiness that's going on, like with the Prince Andrew stuff that's happening right now, where he may have had sex with a teenager and he was friends with Epstein, and Epstein may have got the teen. I just found out about all that literally like in the past like few days, whatever, because like I said, I don't follow the royals like that, but I did love Diana and her kids, so I followed their life. I didn't follow everyone else, if that makes sense. So yeah, I was watching it, and it was just really sad. It was sad to just see just some of the things she's gone through, and then it was infuriating. It was sad and it was infuriating, and it was infuriating for two reasons. Because it was infuriating that this was a woman who went to the institution, as she called, that the whole thing of being a royal and everything and the monarchy. And she went to them for help because she was feeling very depressed and suicidal because of the bad press, the constant barrage of bad press that Meghan Markle has gotten. And I've seen it. We've all seen it. And for the longest time, I've looked at it and been like, why does she get different press than Kate? And then I'm like, but I know why. Like, she's a black woman. She's the first black person to marry into that family in modern times. Because I know they said like a long time ago, one of the very first king's wife was of black descent. And Meghan is half black. So I know why. This is a family that has done everything in its power, it seemed like, to keep the bloodline as white and pure as possible. White and pure as they would have it, and I say that using air quotes because I'm not saying white is pure, you know what I'm saying? So, I think anyone who is a person who is black, who saw the treatment of Meghan compared to the treatment of Kate, who saw that Kate was basically praised and revered throughout the headlines so much in the British press, and that Meghan was just vilified. You know, it was something even as silly and trivial as like Meghan holding her baby bump when she first got pregnant with Archie. She was constantly like holding it, but a lot of women who were pregnant, especially women pregnant for the first time, they hold their baby bump a lot. Like I remember I heard one pregnant woman say it's like a natural reaction to kind of hold your baby bump a lot because it's like a natural protection. Protection move to go when you can just kind of have your hand there, especially if you're walking in a crowd or anything. It's like a natural instinct as a mother to kind of put your hand there as if you're kind of shielding your baby bump or touching it just with love. It's just something that pregnant women do. It's very natural. So with Kate, it was just very like, you know, Kate is glowing as she shields her baby bump. And then with Meghan, it was like Meghan touches her baby bump for fame and vanity. It was just totally like, it was so ridiculous of how they would totally make the tabloids would make these news stories that were just so vile and vicious towards Meghan, from even saying, you know, straight out of Compton, you know, to becoming like it was done in a way of not to say, wow, look where she's come from, and look how, you know, this is a story of you can be anything. It was always done in a nasty negative undertone, you know. And it was even like a story one there where it was like Kate eats avocados to stay healthy, but Meghan, and then they did a story about Meghan and they were like, Meghan's love of avocado leads to the avocado shortage crisis. Like it was just crazy of how they would like totally change these headlines, but it was crazy, but it wasn't. And I say that because if you are a person who is a black person or a person of color, you read right between the lines. You knew what was going on and what was going down or whatever, right? So Meghan talked about that and just talked about the treatment and talked about, you know, how a lot of things she didn't even know was really happening in the press, and that she wasn't being protected, that the monarchy who said that they would protect her and just always say no comment and we will protect you. We will make sure we clear up rumors, we would clear up things that aren't right, and they just never did. They never did, even as far as like a situation of where it was Meghan's wedding, the week of the wedding, and something happened. Meghan wouldn't really go into details, but it was something that happened where Kate was upset with the bridesmaids' dresses, and these are the dresses they call flower girls. We're here in the US, we call them flower girls, but over in England they call them bridesmaids, where the bridesmaids, something with the dresses, and Kate wasn't happy or something, and she made Meghan cry. So then literally 6 months after this whole incident happened, no one had ever talked about it. Meghan had never said anything because she said Kate apologized to her and she realized it was just a moment. You know, it was a rough week of the wedding. But then 6 months later, it comes out, Meghan makes Kate cry during week of wedding. So not only was it a complete lie, not only did the story come out, but it was a complete lie. It was totally flipped. It was flipped to make it look like Meghan had done this and that Kate was the victim. And so like one of the things Meghan said that she, you know, her and Harry went to get out in this interview was just like, you know, there was some type of force at play that was trying to make it where one was a villain and one was the heroine. And she was just like, and obviously she was the one that was made to be the villain. And she was just saying that it wasn't true, a lot of the stuff, and that the palace was not protecting her like they said they would. And she said her last straw was when she went to them, and she was just like, you know, she said, but she was enduring it. She was enduring it because she loved Harry. And she said her last straw was when she went to them and she's like, I am having thoughts of suicide. I am really struggling here. I need help. And she went to them and she told them she needed help. And she told Harry she needed help and she was struggling. And she went once to them on her own. And they said, well, it's going to look bad if you go get help. And so there's nothing we can do. That infuriated me. That infuriated me more than the comments about Archie's skin color. And I'm going to tell you why that infuriated me. Because there is such a stigma out there with depression and suicide and things like that. And the thing is, like, people don't like to come forward and say they need help. People do not like to do that. It is hard for people to do that. And here you had this woman who was actually taking the time to come forward and say, you all, I need help. I am having these thoughts And the fact, and Meghan said she went for it because she said she thought that if she did not say something, she said she was so embarrassed she was having these thoughts. And so she didn't say anything for a while, but then she got to the point it was overwhelming her too much, where she was like, if I don't say something, I will do it. And so she goes to them and she's like, I need help. And they're like, pretty much, it's going to be a bad look, so we can't help you. That just infuriates me, because there's so many people out there who have a shame and feel like they can't go and say that I need help, that I am struggling, I cannot deal with this by myself, I need help. There's so many people who won't do that because they're ashamed and they feel like they're going to be judged. And they did exactly what a lot of people are afraid of. They did that to her. And I just say thank God that her husband is a down husband for her. And, you know, he said that is one of the reasons that they left too, is he said because they couldn't get the help they needed. You know, he said he was dealing with his own issues of depression because he had never really saw racism in his family, is what he said. He never really paid attention to it. He never paid attention to it or whatever or anything until he saw it firsthand, because he saw it being done to his wife. And so he said that opened up his eyes to a lot of things that need to be changed within the royal family. And he said, and they were trying to get help and no one would help him. And that is why they decided to step away. They decided to take not a lower role, but a smaller role where they can still do their philanthropic work and still work with the causes that are dear to their heart and everything, but not be out there as much as like the face, like one of the faces of the royal, not be out there as much. Just still doing the behind the scenes, doing charity and things like that, but they didn't want to be out there as much, so they wanted to take kind of like a backseat role, which they say other family members of the royals do, which is why we probably don't really know about a lot of the other family members of the royal. They'll take a backseat role. And he said, but when they said that they wanted to do that, they basically was like, oh no, we're going to decrease what you do even more, and you're going to lose your titles, your Prince Harry's gonna lose his medals for going like to Afghanistan, the medals he got and stuff, and his honorary something with the military, I can't remember what it is, and that Archie was not going to be given a title. And with that title that they have comes protection, comes security and things like that. And Meghan mostly had already received so many just horrible death threats. There was like a thing that came out that said she was like the most bullied person of 2019 and 2020, the most like cyber bully person ever, which is why she says that she doesn't go online, she doesn't go on social media and stuff like that, because she had to protect her own peace, which I get, and why she tries to not read the tabloids or anything. She said, but the only reason she knew what was going on is because her mom was calling her friends, and they were like, Meg, this is bad. This is bad, and they are not protecting you. And that's how they knew that they weren't getting the protection that they need, because they had kind of made a pact to kind of stay away from that. And I remember Harry actually asking the press numerous times, once when he was dating, and a couple of times when he was married, first got married to Meghan, for them to just be kinder, and to report facts and stop making up stories, you know. And I remember that. I remember him saying that, and he did it in a gracious way, and it just still didn't happen. So anyway, the interview is fascinating. It is really good. And then they talk about, you know, Archie, and how some members of the family made comments about his color and how dark is he gonna get, and what this could mean optics wise. And it was done in a way of like, he can't get dark, and if he gets dark, like, we're gonna kind of have to hide him away type of thing. And so, you know, those were just the final straws that just kind of broke the camel's back, where they were just like, we gotta go. And so they came back to America. They, you know, they left the monarchy. They literally, the only money they had, Harry got cut off. His father is not speaking to him. His brother is not speaking to him. The only money he has is that he says he has the money that his mother left him. And he said he thinks that his mother would definitely approve of what they're doing. He said because she thinks that she set up that to prepare in case they should ever want to leave, like he had to, like she did. And so he said, that money definitely helped them to come to America and create this life for themselves and get them a home and everything like that. But it is not enough to pay for security that they need to protect them. So, they came back to America. They stayed in Tyler Perry's home for like 3 to 4 months until they got their own home. Tyler Perry let them stay in his home in Malibu. And then now they have their own home there. And Harry ended up getting this deal with Apple where he's working for Apple to create content about mental illness and mental health and stuff like that. He actually is doing this with Oprah too for Apple TV. So Harry has this other job and he's like, that money for that job is going to help pay for security for my family. So anyway, it was just a really good interview, but it was like I said, it was very jaw-dropping. It was very like, oh my God, like, whoa. I don't think it's going to be hard for the monarchy to recover from this. Oh, and also like Harry would not say who the person, the person or persons were who had these conversations about Archie's skin color. Because Meghan said there were several conversations that they had with Harry secretly, and Harry told his wife, of course, about Archie's skin tone and what this is going to mean and how dark is he going to get, and they were worried about how dark he's going to get and stuff like that. He won't say who it was, but the fact that his dad is not talking to him, he said his dad stopped talking to him and William stopped talking to him. To me, and this was before they did this interview with Oprah, they're kind of estranged right now. To me, that says volumes. And Harry says that he will never say who it was. And Meghan, when Oprah asked her, she said she won't say because she thinks it will be very damaging to them. And so to me, that lets me know that it is a royal family member who is in the forefront, who is a very important factor. We all know that Prince, what's his name? Prince Charles, whenever the Queen should pass, Prince Charles will take over as king. And then when he passes, it's going to be Prince William who's next in line. So that could be very damaging to them. And the interesting thing about this is the other interesting part that is insane to me is that this is the monarchy, the Queen. They didn't have anything bad to say about the Queen. Meghan said the Queen has been nothing but kind to her and almost like has given off such a warm vibe and like a grandmother spirit with her, and has been very kind and everything. But she was saying that it was she didn't realize that before marrying into this family that she would have to curtsy to the Queen and things like that. She didn't realize like that that's what Prince Charles and Harry had to do too, and even her own son. And she's like, but that's your grandmother. And and Harry told her, but she's the Queen. And I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. It's like your own like blood still has to treat you like this queen. Like they can't even just see you and be like, hey grandma, and like give you a big old hug and stuff. Like they gotta like bow and curse and stuff. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. But anyway, what I was saying is like the other interesting thing to me is that the monarchy is over 6 commonwealths. Some are in Africa, Australia, Canada, certain parts of Canada. That's what they call the Commonwealth. So they're an extension of the royals, like meaning they honor the Queen. They have their own presidents and stuff. Like we all know Justin Trudeau is president of Canada, Africa, the different countries that reside upon the continent of Africa. They have their own presidents, and Australia has their own president, but they also still very much revere and respect and honor the Queen. So they have these Commonwealth territories, and 60% of it is black, which I never knew. So this is something new I learned. So 60% of it is black, and you got alleged racism like this happening within the institution, which is not shocking to me that there's racism in the institution, because if we look at like the British were responsible for colonialism, like you know what I'm saying, like they started that. So that's not shocking to me that it is an institution. Which was shocking to me is that there are 60% of the Commonwealth is black. I just never knew that. I never knew that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think the monarchy is going to recover from this. It's crazy. Like y'all, if y'all have not seen this interview, I do think it's worth going to watch. It was just a really good interview, and it was just so much was revealed. And you know, people were coming out talking shit, like Bethany Frankel, who really annoyed me that she did that. That really upset me because I'm actually a fan of Bethany. Like, I like her on The Real Housewives of New York. And so to see people talking shit before they even see this interview, and then don't even like humbly come back and walk back the crap that they were saying, like they were. And the thing, this is what annoys me. Everyone who's talking shit is only talking shit about Meghan. So what does that show about you? You're not saying this about Harry. Harry, who's there with his wife, saying this was our experience. This was her experience. This was my experience because it happened to my wife. You're not coming at Harry like Piers Morgan's punk ass. He not coming at Harry, but he's going on when he had his show, because we all know he walked away from it because basically he was called to task for the vile and inhumane way he has treated Meghan Markle since she has been a part of this monarchy, and the way he has viciously attacked her and talked about her. So he was being called out about that by one of his co-hosts, and he walked off the set and he quit his show, which is what is it called? Good Morning Britain or whatever like that. Good Morning Britain? Good Morning Britain? I think it's called Good Morning Britain. Like Good Morning America, but it's Good Morning Britain. So anyway, but the whole time, he's like, when the interview came out, he's like, I don't believe a word she said. I don't believe a word. I don't believe anything. He doesn't believe Meghan. But Harry is saying it too. So why are you only attacking Meghan? Why are you not attacking Harry? We know why you only attacking Meghan. We know why. You are only attacking and refuse to believe a black woman's experience. You are refusing to believe that that happened to this woman who is saying that this happened to her. And it's crazy to me. No one should be doubting this woman's experience and that this has happened to her. First of all, if you look at that, you see the pain that is oozing out of these two. You just see the pain. I believe every single thing they said. I believe everything they said. I really honestly do. And I believe it because I am a black woman who goes to work every single day and I have to deal with microaggressions every single day. So, do I think that she was dealing with microaggressions every single day? Yes, I do. And I understand how that can chip away at you, how that can literally just feel like the weight of the world is on your chest. You know what I'm saying? So I believe everything she says. And so the fact that Piers Morgan is like, I don't believe a word that comes out of her mouth, but he's not saying, I don't believe a word that comes out of Prince Harry's mouth. To me, you just showed who you are. You showed your hands. You've been showing your hands and who you are for a long time now, right? I don't like him. I don't deal with him. I don't watch his stuff because every time I see anything about him, he's being one, misogynistic. He's got racist undertones in anything that he's doing because there's always hot takes that end up out on the internet. So I always end up seeing something because he's always got something buffoonery to say or ignorant or stupid that he is saying that ends up going viral or whatever. So I just think it's odd though that a lot of people, like even in Bethany's rant, she gives grace to Harry. But she's like going off on Meghan and she's like, oh, poor you. You go from obscurity to where no one really knows who you are. You were on a game show and then you became an actress on a show to now you're a princess in a castle with tiara. So she's totally dismissing Meghan. But she goes, but I give a pass to Prince Harry. Why are you giving a pass to Prince Harry, but you're not giving a pass to Meghan? Like, it's insane to me. And I don't understand how people don't look at that and realize their implicit biases. How do you not look at how your reaction is and not realize that what you are doing is filled with implicit bias? So you're willing to believe his story, but you're not going to believe her story when their stories are intertwined. They have the same intertwined story because they are married and they are together. And he's saying, this is what has been happening to my wife. This is what has been going on, you know? So anyway, Piers Morgan's an idiot. I don't want to spend a lot of time on him, but I do like implore everyone to definitely look at that interview. It was really good and it just opened, just a lot came out. And I really don't know how the monarchy is going to recover from this. I really don't. But I know they're going to try because they have already been trying. They have Prince William. So the Queen put out a statement and she basically was saying that they're going to look into, they were saddened to hear about some of the trials that Meghan and Harry faced while living in the monarchy. And I'm just like, you guys knew what they were going through. They've said they've come to you numerous times about what they have gone through. Because one of the things Prince Harry said is that there is this unspoken contract between the British press and the royals. And it's like, as long as the royals are letting them cover certain things and have these certain like little intricate moments of looking into their personal life, then the British press is always going to be nice to them, right? Which shows probably why all this stuff with Andrew didn't really go as wildfire as it could have. Okay. And he said it's like an unspoken contract. And so he said, like, his family, he said the institution, the monarchy, they could have at any point said to them, the British press, by the way, has Christmas parties at the palace. Okay. So he said that they could have at any moment been like, chill, like, y'all are doing too much. This is very harmful. This is hurting her. Please chill. You know what I'm saying? But they never did that once. Harry said he asked them and they never did it. He asked them numerous times to please help them to do that. And he never did it. So yeah, it just was so much that came out, y'all. Oh, and then back to Piers Morgan. Like I said, he ended up walking off his show and he ended up quitting. And I was like, bye, girl. Bye. I did not care. I was like, good. I'm glad he quit. So he quit. And then, so drama came from him quitting, right? So when he quit, he goes and he does this tweet and he's saying how he's leaving. They release a statement saying that he's leaving, and that's all I have to say about it. And so Sharon Osborn, who's Ozzy Osbourne's wife, she's also a host on The Talk on CBS. So she sends out this tweet and she's like, I support you, Piers, you're my friend, and I support your right for freedom of speech, and you were just speaking the truth, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, when she said that, child, they came for Sharon's neck. They were dragging Sharon, like, how can you support him? What he is doing is blatantly racist. He is blatantly, he's a despicable person. And honestly, after Piers had that rant about Meghan, the Good Morning Britain received 41,000 complaints against him. 41,000 complaints. It was really despicable, you guys. So that just shows how bad it was. And I think that was one of the reasons Piers quit. I think he knew he was about to get fired because from what I've been reading, he has created a toxic working environment for a while now. Like, a lot of his co-hosts don't even really like him because he's just so nasty and negative and toxic. But that stuff thrives in this world, right? It's disgusting, but it does. Like, the toxicity and the negativity, that's the stuff that gets all that, the play that goes viral and stuff like that. So I'm sure that's why they have kept him on for so long. But after you get 41,000 complaints, after, how here we have the FCC, is it FCC? Is it the FCC? I think it is. Whoever monitors our TV, I think it's the FCC. Yeah. So like they got like that amount of complaints to the FCC of Britain. I can't remember what they're called about him and on that episode. So I think the writing was on the wall that he was going to be fired, and I think that's why he quit. And I'm doing air quotes for those who are just listening and not watching. So anyway, so Sharon, she sends out this tweet and she's like all in support of him or whatever. And so she comes on The Talk the next day and she's like pretty much saying that she doesn't understand why people are calling her racist now and blah, blah, blah. And so Cheryl Underwood, who, Sharon Osborn and Cheryl Underwood have talked about how they're friends on the show before. They go out drinking together sometimes. And so Cheryl Underwood is trying to get her to understand how some people can feel that her support of Piers Morgan in this situation and everything that he's done could come off as she is supporting implicit bias and racist behavior, And Cheryl came to her in the most organic, pure, really just trying to get you to understand vulnerable way. She's like, you're my friend and you have never done anything that makes me think that you are racist, but do you think, and Cheryl asked the question, and I'm gonna play it for you guys. I'm gonna play it for you now.
I really would like to know, because I've been knowing you for years since I've been here, and I've never seen anything come out of you other than, if I don't know, I'm willing to learn. If it comes off a certain way, I stand corrected.
Right.
That's the only thing I've seen.
Yeah.
So what would you say to people who may feel that you, while you're standing by your friend, it appears that you give validation or safe haven to something that he has uttered that is racist, even if you don't agree? Am I saying it right? Okay, am I saying?
I don't know what he's uttered that's racist. I'm not trying to slide out of this one.
Right.
I don't know. Tell me, what has he uttered that's racist? I feel even like I'm about to be put in the electric chair because I have a friend who many people think is a racist, so that makes me a racist. And for me, at 68 years of age, to have to turn around and say, I ain't racist. What's it got to do with me? Okay, how can I be racist about anybody? How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
Well, I tell you,
what?
We will be right
Well,
back.
what?
We have more topics, so don't go away.
And I think we should stop this. I will ask you again, Cheryl.
Yes.
I've been asking you during the break. I am asking you again. And don't try and cry, because if anyone should be crying, it should be me. This is the situation.
Yes.
You tell me where you have heard him say, educate me. Tell me when you have heard him say racist things. Educate me. Tell me.
It is not the exact words of racism. It's the implication and the reaction to it. To not want to address that because she is a black woman and to try to dismiss it or to make it seem less than what it is. That's what makes it racist. But right now, I'm talking to a woman who I believe is my friend. And I don't want anybody here to watch this and say that we're attacking you for being racist. And for that, if I articulated
I think it's
anything,
too late. I think that seed's already sown.
But that is why I'm saying for me. I'm saying for me. For me. I thought I was asking a question about the perception for other people. That's why I prefaced it with, I've never heard you utter anything racist, but I have felt that Pierce was racist in his stance against Meghan Markle. And the last time he was on this show, I said as much. I said it when he was on this show.
And what was his answer to you?
He didn't feel that. He didn't feel that it was racist. He didn't feel that the racial statements that he was making were racist. But I was talking to him.
Okay, answer me this one, okay? Because I don't know. I don't understand. If he doesn't like someone, and I think this is for everybody who is born white, if Piers doesn't like someone and they happen to be black, does that make him a racist?
No.
That's a no.
No.
Right. So why can't it be he just doesn't like her? Why does it have to be racist?
So, as you can see, that completely went left. It went to basically Sharon Osborn turning into a Karen and using Karen tears, and she just got out of pocket. She got so out of pocket. And the thing is, like, Cheryl came to her from such a good place of trying to help her to understand how it could appear that way to some people. And then also prefacing it by saying, this is not what I see with you. You are my friend, blah, blah, blah. And Sharon went on the attack. And she kept saying, help me to understand what he has said is racist. Tell me, educate me. But she wasn't doing it in a way of where she was trying to truly learn, right? She was doing it in a way of being very combative. She was doing it in a way of being the victim. She was doing it in a way of saying that she's being attacked. She wasn't trying to learn. She wasn't truly trying to understand where Cheryl and Elaine were coming from and trying to explain to her how other people could feel a certain way about her supporting peers. She didn't give a damn. She wasn't concerned. Her whole thing in that moment to me was she was offended and now she was going to fight back. And the thing is, I really don't understand why she got so up in arms with Cheryl and was so offended. I can understand why she could be offended that people on the outside would wonder if she's racist after supporting Piers Morgan, because if you truly feel like you are not a person who is racist and someone says that, I can see why you get offended. But this was an opportunity. Here's the thing. This is an example of privilege, because this was an opportunity for Sharon Osborn to learn. This was an opportunity for her to learn, to listen, to learn, and to understand where everyone else was coming from, so that she in herself could take those lessons, sit with it, and then try to understand it and do better. Okay? This could have went a completely different way. It could have been a different way had she been open to learning and understanding, but she wasn't. She was immediately on the defense. She was immediately on the attack, and I'm pretty sure probably ruined a friendship that didn't even have to be ruined, but maybe it did, because apparently Cheryl is Sharon's friend, but Sharon's not Cheryl's friend. With the way she acted, the way she talked to her, there's no way she's her friend acting like that. So I was just so upset, because the whole thing is, had that been flipped, had that been Cheryl acting to Sharon the way Sharon acted to her, completely different headlines. Completely different. Cheryl had to sit there the entire time, and she had to super humble herself and be in a form of, I can't react the way I probably would want to react, because I know the narrative is going to change. The narrative is going to go from Sharon Osborn basically flipping out on me and being disrespectful to me and me defending myself. It's not going to be that narrative. It's going to be a narrative of, it's going to be the latter. It's going to be flipped to where Cheryl Underwood is going to be the villain, because she is and so as a black woman, she knew she had to take a beat, and her and Elaine, and they had to choose their words carefully. And this is something that people don't understand, that we go through every single day as a black person in this country, as a black woman, and as a black person in this country. We always have to constantly think of, okay, how am I going to say this so that I am not coming off or being painted as the angry, intense black woman at work? How do I be assertive in a way that it's not coming off that I have an attitude? Because quickly they'll be quick to say that we have an attitude when we're just being assertive. We're just being assertive. We're standing our ground, and we're just saying, no, this is it, and this is, we're being vocal. Us being vocal is never seen as being vocal. It's seen as us being having an attitude, or us being combative. And so I felt like every black woman, or a black person in general, black men too, because they deal with this too, sat there in that moment and watched that all go down. And we all had so much empathy for Cheryl, because we knew what she was experiencing. But we also had so much annoyance within ourselves that is what she had to do, that she had to sit there. She couldn't get as passionate as Sharon got. Her and Elaine couldn't get as passionate and outraged at the way Sharon was treating them, because they knew the narrative was going to be completely different. It was going to be changed, and Sharon Osborn would have looked like the victim. So I applaud Elaine. I applaud Cheryl so much. I applaud them so much for their restraint and their calm and their just being able to truly just calmly articulate what they were trying to say in that moment, because I was watching it and I was getting so upset. I was getting so upset as it was happening. So I applaud them so much. And they came out on top, looking on top and looking incredible. And Sharon Osborn came out looking like a freaking lunatic throughout this whole thing. So now as far as where that whole thing has gone, it has been crazy. It's been talked about the entire week. And now basically the talk is taking a break right now while they investigate the way the whole thing unfolded between Sharon and Cheryl, and also investigate other claims right now within the CBS organization about racism. That comes on the heels of I think Holly Robinson Peete, who said that she was fired from the talk because Sharon Osborn said that she was too ghetto. And so Holly Robinson Peete, you guys may remember, I actually went to the talk. I went to a live taping of the talk when it first started. And Holly Robinson Peete, Leah Remini, Sarah Gilbert, Julie Chan, they were all the hosts. And I remember after the first year, Leah Remini and Holly Robinson Peete were fired. And so Holly Robinson Peete is alleging that Sharon, along with Julie Chan, had said that Leah and Holly were too ghetto for the talk. So Holly tweeted that, you know, oh, I remember when Sharon said I was too ghetto for the talk or whatever. And then Sharon puts out these receipts where she's like, well, it's strange Holly is saying that now because I never once said that. And in this email, she basically is talking about Julie is the one that said that and she never implicated me once. But here's the deal. Holly Robinson Peete apparently emailed Sharon literally the day after she got fired, okay? So at that point, when she did send that email to Sharon, she could have truly been literally not knowing that Sharon allegedly said that about her. She could have truly not have known it because Holly didn't even mention not once the whole fired because too ghetto in the email. She didn't mention that at all. So she could have truly not have known that. And what could have happened is that insiders or people that she was still friends with let her know a little bit later this was the deal. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how Sharon can kind of be like, these are the receipts. I mean, I get why she did it. I get why she released it like, these are the receipts. But then again, like I said, she released it literally, like that email that Holly sent Sharon was literally a day or two after Holly got fired. And in the email, Holly's like, you know, I don't really understand why you're not answering my calls, but I kind of understand because people are saying that you guys are on a gag order, but I wanted you to know, basically kind of just saying no ill will towards you or whatever. And yeah, she could have meant that in that moment, but then she could have found out weeks later or a month later, whatever, when the gag order lifted, this one actually said this about her, and that is probably one of the reasons she got fired. So like, we don't know if Sharon said that. We don't know if she didn't say it. I'm just saying, like, just because you have this receipt, that does not necessarily validate that you didn't say it. You know what I'm saying? So y'all, it's a whole mess. This whole thing is a mess. And I don't know how it's going to play out. I do not know how it's going to play out. But I, again, just want to shout out to my girl Cheryl. Shout out to Elaine, because they handled themselves with so much grace, so much class, so much dignity. And as a black woman, they made me so proud because I understood what they were in that situation. I have been in a situation like that before myself at work, where the person like lost it on me and was like a lunatic. And I literally had to be calm. I had to be calm and I had to respond in an unthreatening manner because I knew that even though I was fuming inside, I knew the narrative would have been flipped and it would have been flipped against me. So I just want to applaud them, and I am so proud of them. I'm just so proud of them for, you know, just being a great example, and showing the opposite of what people like to assume about black women. Let's see, what else do I got? Okay, so that kind of went for forever. So, I mean, I didn't realize me talking about the royals and all that drama was going to take this long, but it has taken a long time. So, I think I'm going to save a couple of my topics for a later day, because I feel like they can be evergreen. So I think I'm going to save them for the next time I record later this week. But for now, I do want to still mention this. I want to I just want to give a humble, just send so much love to George Floyd and his family. It came out on Friday, I think. Was it Friday? Yeah, Friday. It came out Friday that the family had reached a settlement with the city of Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota, for George Floyd's death. We all remember that George Floyd, the anniversary is actually going to be coming up in May. He was killed in 2020. I think it was May 29th, when an officer kneeled on his neck for 8 minutes and I think 47 seconds is the correct time. 8 minutes and 47 seconds. And we all remember where we were that day when we saw that video, when we saw that heartbreaking video of our brother, a black brother, being slaughtered by someone who is supposed to protect us, an officer. I still get very emotional when I think about it. But yeah, so we all remember where we were that day and how it just, I felt like it was a huge wake up call for a lot of people who didn't seem to want to see the racism and police brutality that us black people have to deal with a lot of times with certain police officers on the force. So his family settled with the city because they sued the city for wrongful death lawsuit, the city and the police department, and they settled in one of the biggest police settlements. I think it's like one of the top 5 biggest police settlements ever, for $27 million. And the sad thing is that I know his family, especially his baby girl Gianna, his family would give all that money back to have him back. You know, I do social media for a living for one of the local TV stations in Las Vegas, and I remember when we put that press conference up about the settlement, and there was just so many vile and vicious and nasty comments and racist and despicable comments that I had to literally, like, because I had to monitor it, because we knew it was probably gonna be like that. So I had to monitor it and get rid of the ones with cursing and just nasty. And that was a very toxic situation for myself to have to deal with. And I just want people to know that, you know, while everyone's like, oh, you know, not everyone, a lot of the comments I was seeing were like, oh, now his family is going to have all this money. They're getting paid for nothing. And oh, now they're gonna get paid because a criminal didn't do what he was supposed to, which is in itself, I don't even want to acknowledge that, because we all know it's ignorant, right? But one of the things I did want to say, because I don't want to put a lot of energy into those ignorant ass people, those ridiculous people, and I pray and ask God every time I see stuff like that, please help me not to harden my heart against them. Please help me to pray for them. Help me not to harden my heart against them, which is hard because I just can't believe that there are so many people just still so racist in this world. It's insane to me. But yeah, looking at it, I just want to say and put this out there that I am sure that his family would give up every cent, would give up even their own money to have him back on this earth. There is no amount of money that can replace life. Not at all. The reason that these lawsuits have to happen is because someone has to be held accountable. You have to be held accountable for taking a life, for viciously taking a life in a manner of which George Floyd's life was taken. And we all know and have seen all too many times that in situations like this, where it is a situation where there is an unexplainable use of force that has led to the death of a black person, an unarmed black man, an unarmed black woman, what usually happens is that there is never justice served. We all have seen that too many times. So there has to be a civil lawsuit because someone has to be held accountable. And that is what a civil lawsuit does. It is not about the money for these families. So people need to stop saying that. It is disgusting that people say that. There is no amount of money that can replace a life. It is about holding people accountable. And this is a way to do it, to hit them in the pocket. A way to do it is to hit them in the pocket to hold them accountable. Now, the trial of the police officers who were involved in George Floyd's death. One of the officers, the main officer, the one who knelt on his neck, Derek Chauvin, is expected to start on March 29th. They have been doing jury selection since last week. It is continued. It's going to continue on Monday. It has come out that they are asking for an extension in the trial. They're asking for a delay in the trial because they feel like now that the civil suit and the fact that they have settled with the city has been released, that it's going to be hard to find an impartial jury or whatever, because people are going to automatically assume that he is guilty because the civil suit has awarded the family this huge lump sum of money. But I don't even think, to me, that doesn't even play a difference. I get why his attorneys are doing it. They're just doing their job. I get it. But to me, that doesn't even play a difference to me in the civil suit. He was guilty from the moment I saw him kneeling on a man's neck. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that is the case with a lot of people. Like, he is guilty of what he has done. There's no reason that he needed to kneel on that man's neck, to kneel on Brother George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 47 seconds. That is insane to me, how anyone can think that is okay. But there are still people out there who thinks George Floyd deserves what he got. And it is baffling to me. It is heartbreaking. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. So I just want to send love to his family, because, you know, one of the hard parts is over, but now they have this trial, and it is very important. I think it's imperative that this officer is convicted. It has to be done. I don't know how he can escape from this, but we've seen it so many times, and I'm trying to go into it very hopeful. I'm trying to go into it of believing that justice will prevail. But after what happened with Breonna, where the only charge one of the officers got was a freaking bullet going through a wall, and them showing that they care more about a wall than they care about this woman who was sleeping in her bed. I don't know. I really don't know. So I just hope you guys, just if your prayers like I am, please send up some prayers for George Floyd's family. Please send them good thoughts and send them love, and let's just all be hopeful and prayerful, and that, you know, justice will be served. Again, like I said, the trial is expected to start on March 29th, but his attorney has asked for a delay in the trial so that they can do a change of venue. So we'll just see how that plays out. So let me see if I have anything else. Oh, the only other thing is, I kind of just want to talk real quick about A-Rod and J-Lo. So, okay, it came out on Friday that A-Rod and J-Lo were breaking up because of the rumors and everything, that their relationship allegedly could not survive the rumors that came out that a couple of months ago, it came out that he was trying to hook up with Madison LaCroix, who is on Southern Charm, which is, it's a show I watch. It shoots in South Carolina. And that he was like all in her DMs and stuff like that, and it was going to fly her to Miami. Okay. So this news came out, I want to say last month. It came out like in February, and I remember I was watching the finale of the Southern Charm reunion, and when this information came out, and they just were saying a major, like huge major league, former Major League Baseball player, right? And she was saying like this guy was in her DMs. And here's the thing about Madison. She's a viper. She can be vicious if she feels backed in the corner. She is very, you know, viperish, right? But one thing I will say about her, I don't think she lies. And so when the rumor came out that it was A-Rod that they were talking about, I was like, I was upset about it, and I was like, dang, A-Rod, you doing this to J-Lo? And I'm like, poor J-Lo. But then I also was kind of like, but you know what? I don't know if I don't believe it. And just because of how I've seen with Madison, like, she doesn't come off as a liar to me. Like I said, she can be a viper. She can be vicious with her tongue as far as like hurting people when she feels backed in a corner and attacked. But one thing I will say about her is I have never felt that she was a liar. So I actually was like, this may be true. Okay. So anyway, so that came out on Friday. They called off their 2-year engagement and they were broken up. So now the latest information though that has come out and from A-Rod and J-Lo is that is not true. They're not broken up, but they are in counseling and they are working to fix some issues in their relationship. So to me, that says that this little Madison LaCroix rumor may have some legs. And maybe they're just going to really fight and work for their relationship and get the counseling they need to try to make it survive. But y'all, I don't know. I believe it. So anyway, so we'll see what happened with that. I wish them the best. Like I said, I thought they were a cute couple. And I love J-Lo, and I just want her to find her happy. She's a person like me. She loves love, and she loves so freely and openly and easily. It seems like she falls quickly. I'm like that. I'm that type of person. I love love, and I love to give love, and I know I fall very quickly for people. But it seems like we're always the ones that get hurt, which is crazy. So I'm rooting for my girl J-Lo. I'm rooting for her. And I hope that whatever the resolve is for this is that whatever it is, she ends up happy on the other side. And I wish A-Rod the best too. So anyway, let's see if I have anything else. Nope. I don't have anything else, y'all. Nothing at all. So I just want to thank y'all again for joining me for another episode of Undeniably Nikki. I know we spent a lot of time on the royals today, but child, there was just so many intricate parts with that whole thing that it took up a lot of time. So I didn't have as much time to get to as many topics today as I wanted to, but I felt like it was important to get as much of what was going on with that whole drama out. Instead of going to the other topics, you know. So I just thank y'all so much. Oh, by the way, speaking of with the royals, I totally forgot to tell y'all why the next day, y'all, after the Oprah interview aired, why did Prince William and Prince Charles go out on the rounds with some black people on the side of them? I swear, y'all, they had pictures posted where Prince Charles was with black folks, and then they showed William out touring some school or something, and he got a black woman on the side of him. Now, how do they not think that looks suspicious? Like, how, y'all? I don't understand. But anyway, I forgot to say that earlier, but I just thought about it now. Anyway, I'm about to get up out of here. If y'all are liking what y'all are seeing, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button and hit that little bell. Ding. And then also, please make sure you're commenting below, because I like to get down there and talk to you guys about everything that I talked about. I love hearing your feedback and your comments and going back and forth with you about what we talked about. Just having, like, you know, a conversation. So please comment below. Also, please share this episode and like it, please. So again, thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode of Undeniably Nikki. I love y'all so much, and I appreciate y'all for always being on this journey with me. And I'll catch you another time. Love y'all. Bye.